One saying, 4 stages, a path that can transform you if you truly walk it. Jesus said, "Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all." Saying 2 from the Gospel of Thomas is not a doctrine, not a command, but an invitation. In this video, we follow its path, from seeking to inner freedom. If you're ready, the journey begins now. To seek. It sounds like movement, like striving, like a journey through the world. But the one who truly seeks does not search out there. Not in books, not in opinions, not in institutions. They search in the one place most people fear to look, within. For what is missing is not far away. It is deeply hidden, buried beneath the noise of thought, beneath the masks of the self, beneath everything we were taught to be. The Christian mystic Meister Eckhart, a radical thinker of the 13th century, put it this way: "The path outward leads inward. Whoever seeks God must sink into themselves and let go within, so that he may be found." To seek means being willing to leave behind the outer noise, the distractions, the opinions, even our own ideas of God. Meister Eckhart put it in radically honest words: "I pray to God to rid me of God." To seek is to let go of all images of truth, so that truth itself may be revealed. The 13th century mystic Mevlana Rûmî, rooted in Islamic Sufism, spoke of this inner journey too. He wrote, "What you seek is seeking you." And so the search is not loud, not proud, not visible. It is a quiet hunger, an inner flame that keeps you awake at night, whispering, "Who am I really? Where do I come from? What is within me that has never truly died?" And these questions, they are not doubt. They are the beginning of something sacred. The path of seeking is no easy walk. It's not a hobby, not a phase. It is an inner movement that changes everything, or nothing at all. Many begin to seek, but they stop, because they grow tired, because there are no quick answers, because what they begin to uncover makes them uncomfortable. But the saying is clear: do not stop. Not until you find. Not until the veil lifts. Not until you touch what lies beyond everything you thought you knew. The French thinker Blaise Pascal, a mathematician, mystic, and witness to the soul's unrest, once observed, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. To be still, truly still, is the first trial, for only in that stillness does the hidden begin to stir. Only there, where you no longer run, no longer prove, no longer strive, only there begins the path from seeking to finding. But this moment does not come quickly. It cannot be forced. It is like morning dew. invisible until touched by light. So continue to seek, even when it feels empty, even when nothing seems to happen. Because in truth, what matters most is happening where you cannot yet see, within you. Many believe the goal of seeking is comfort, an answer that soothes, a truth that confirms what they already hoped was true. But the truth found at the end of this path is different. It is not soft, not convenient, not safe. It is like a mirror suddenly placed before you, and everything you thought you were begins to fall away. Not because you are unworthy, but because what you were searching for was never outside, nor even in your thoughts. What you find is not new knowledge. It is a breakthrough into a reality that was never far, only hidden. The mystic Angelus Silesius, a fierce voice of inner awakening, once wrote, "Stop. Where are you running? Heaven is within. Seek God elsewhere, and you will always miss Him." So you do not find something. You uncover something. Something that was always there, but buried beneath images, expectations, and roles. You find the silence that carries everything. The light that has always shone, even in your darkest hour. But in this moment, something begins to tremble. For the one who sees that they have not found the truth, but uncovered it, also sees that they were never truly separate, and that realization shakes you. Most people say they want the truth, but only as long as it doesn't disturb their world. Yet real insight is not a gentle light. It is lightning. It strikes you exactly where you thought you were safe. It tears open what you thought was yourself. And what you lose in that moment is not your dignity, but your illusion. The Gnostic text known as the Gospel of Truth, a meditative reflection from early Christianity, describes this moment with piercing clarity. Ignorance brought fear and confusion, but when the light appeared, it dissolved. It was undone in the truth. What shakes you is not the truth itself. It is the awakening from the dream that you were ever separate. For what you find was never far. It was always there, within you. Beneath the noise, beneath layers of fear, beneath all the names that never truly belonged to you. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard called this the despair before the true self. For the one who suddenly sees they've lived for years beside themselves, they tremble, not from weakness, but because the false begins to die and the real starts to breathe. This trembling is not a mistake. It is the sign you are on the right path. Because before you can be free, you must lose everything that you are not. The one who has truly been shaken does not rise as they were before. They do not return stronger, but softer, more open, more awake. For the shaking has torn a crack in their world, and through that crack, light enters. For the first time, they no longer see through their thoughts, their expectations, or their fears. They truly see. And what they see is not spectacular, but sacred in everything. A passing breeze becomes meaningful. A glance carries infinite depth. A moment of silence feels as though the entire universe was made for it. In the Gnostic texts of the Valentinian tradition, an early mystical school of Christianity, it is written, "Recognize what is in front of your eyes, and the hidden will be revealed." This wonder is not intellectual understanding. It is seeing with the heart, with an inner eye that had long been blind. The seeker does not become proud. They become quiet. For what they now see was always there, but hidden beneath what they believed themselves to be. And from this silence, what grows is not knowledge, but humility. Once you have truly seen, you cannot go back. Not to your old role, not to your old thoughts, not to the shallow play of the world. You continue to live, but differently. No longer stumbling forward blindly, but fully awake. No longer driven from the outside, but moving from the depth within. Because what has changed is not the world, but the way you see it. The eye of the heart is open. Gregory of Nyssa, a church father and mystical bridge between ancient thought and inner wisdom, once said, "God is neither here nor there, but reveals himself wherever the heart is pure." The one who returns from this seeing does not come back with answers, but with a different kind of silence, a silence that sustains. They no longer judge too quickly. They no longer argue over words. They no longer need to be right. They simply want to be real. And in this authenticity, they become a mirror, not because they shine, but because they have become transparent to something greater. In practice, this does not mean you become someone else, but that you are present in a different way. You return each day for a moment of silence, not to escape, but to remember. You no longer react instantly. You recognize what stirs within you. You no longer need to be right, because you have seen through the game. You no longer try to control everything, but you begin to let go with an open heart. And you no longer believe blindly, because now you truly see. Not through fear, not through longing, but through truth. Clear, still, alive. What does it mean to rule over the all? Not power in the worldly sense, not control over others, not triumph, but inner freedom. Freedom from the game of appearances. Sovereignty, not through force, but through insight. The seeker, who has been shaken and then learned to marvel, has come to see the all for what it truly is. That which rises and falls, that which dazzles and binds, but cannot carry you. And in seeing it clearly, it no longer holds him. He is free. The Gnostics often spoke of ruling over the aeons, the forces of time, fear, and separation. And the one who sees through them stands above them. Not in arrogance, but in clarity. One text from the Nag Hammadi codices puts it this way: If you have come to know yourself, and what once ruled you no longer has power, then you will become sovereign over all things. This is no crown, no stage, no victory parade. It is a quiet state, an inner throne, invisible to the world, but firmly rooted in truth. The one who lives this way sees things clearly, but does not belong to them. He feels, but is no longer enslaved by feeling. He acts, but remains untouched in his deepest core. And that is true sovereignty.